Welcome back, listeners, to Healthy Mind, Healthy Life. I'm your host, Sana, and for this episode, I am joined by someone who embodies honor, integrity, and patriotism, not just in words, but in the way he lives, writes, and connects with the world. Listeners, my guest, Joseph M. Lenard, is a number one best selling author whose works span historical fiction, politics, writing, and faith. From Terror Strikes Coming Soon to a City Near You, which is a fact based novel exploring terrorism and its emotional ripple effects, to guides like How to Write a Book and Get It Published, and Podcasting Quick Start Guide. Joseph has built an impression, listeners. It's an impressionable body of work which is rooted in truth, conviction, and purpose. But beneath the productivity and the politics is a deeply human story, actually. A story that touches on mental health, resilience, and courage to keep showing up even when life gets complicated. So, today, listeners, we are going to dive into what it means to live with purpose, to write from pain, and to heal through creation. Joseph, welcome to the show, and I'm really, really honored to have you here.
Yes, indeed. It is a great honor for you to have me here. That's a joke, people. Just a joke. Right. But things can be so serious. We need to keep a sense of humor about ourselves. And yes, thank you for the proper pronunciation of the name. It's Joseph M. It's spelled Lenard, but it is
Yeah.
not French. It is Leonard without the O. And I have to joke, the middle initial in there is because there is a Joseph Lenard who is also an author in South Carolina. So I have to make that distinction. And I like to joke. I, we are indeed two different people. He's not an alter ego, or not a pseudonym, not a nom de plume. We are, I am not he is not me, and you won't confuse either of us for Shakespeare, right? I am a modern English guy, write in modern English, not the King's English. If you're looking for Shakespeare or Dickens, go reread them. This isn't the Renaissance era.
Exactly, Joseph. That was such a perfect, warm beginning to this conversation. And of course, yes, I'm actually very, very honored. Ah, okay, Joseph. Now, I mean, these are such different, scenes and the worlds to explore. I'm really, really curious to know, like how do they all blend in here? But you are actually known for weaving themes of patriotism and integrity through your work. Now, in a time, when we are seeing a lot of polarization, words often dividing people, what do these all, personally mean to you?
Yeah, I want to add in there often I weave Christian themes in also. I consider myself a Christian author. I don't look to deceive anyone, but I
Mhm.
don't beat anyone's head. I don't try to be one of those super preachy, beat somebody over the head with the Bible thumper types, right? You don't have to be religious to understand the concept of karma, like Rick Springfield has in his Karma song. For every
Mhm.
bit of love I give to another, you know what I believe? It comes back to me, right? You don't have to be religious. You don't have to be Christian or Hindi or whatever to understand that human nature level, that personal interactions level. And indeed, if you put good into the world, guess what? You're likely going to get good back. And if you're an evil SOB, guess what? You're likely going to get that in return, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. That's like the sun and the moon. Yeah, that is universal. That is universal. And
Well, yeah. I can never pass on the lame puns since you mentioned moon. Good thing this is audio only. So you won't see me mooning the camera. But it's a joke, people. It's just a joke.
uh, um and I think um but then also Joseph, I mean, how do you balance passion for your beliefs, with compassion for different viewpoints? This is something like I personally believe that kind of is very rare nowadays. But I would love to like understand how it exactly looks like for you.
Well, yeah, that raises the issue of respect. As
Mm,
a Christian, I understand some others, unfortunately, fellow Christians, I don't think get it. They don't
mm,
read their whole Bible and understand we are to respect other viewpoints. We are to want to teach, but again, and preach, but again, not beat people over the head with the Bible. Respect other viewpoints, be able to have those conversations. Let us focus together on the different faith tenets that we can agree on rather than trying to focus on those things that might divide and separate. That to me is important in any faith or no faith at all. It's like Penn of Penn and Teller. If people are familiar with that magician comedy duo, Penn is an avowed atheist, but he's not one of those atheists which isn't a religion in and of itself. They believe they're their own god, right? But they'll never admit it's a faith, it's a religion, it's a belief. But he's not one of those atheists that hates formal religion. He has no problem with our Supreme Court building having sculptures of Moses and the Ten Commandments on it, understanding our nation, the United States, was founded on Judeo Christian biblical tenets of freedom and free will and
mm,
justice. Uh, but you don't have to accept those things because it's a part of a organized religion. He thinks he doesn't get to steal from me. I don't get to steal from him. He doesn't have the right to kill me, nor I have the right to kill him. In his mind, that is good law, whether biblical based or not. It's just being good humans, good to each other, caring about each other, whether that comes from any faith or no faith at all.
mm. That's actually very well said, Joseph. Very well said. And I also think that there's you know, this beauty in humanity that we can be of different color or races or religious beliefs, faith, history. But I think two people, they can have different opinions or different, um, conviction, but it doesn't mean that, we have to cancel the connection. I mean, we can disagree and still care deeply about the human being in front of us.
Absolutely. I reject outright. We've come to accept and use the term race and racism and blah. It's a cultural Marxist divide and conquer created term. We are one human race, period. We may have different skin tones. We may have separate sub regional subcultures, but we are one human race, period.
Yeah, totally, totally. And um, you you have written across so many genres, Joseph. I mean, from this fiction, faith, and then self-help as well. Um, I mean, for the fact that I know, art has so many forms, creativity has so many forms, and I think it kind of beautifully expresses your feelings, your maybe your pain, your memories. So, particularly writing, how it has helped you process your own emotions and mental health as well.
Yes, absolutely. Before I get into that, I want to mention extension of, we are one race, subcultures, and different skin tones, as Martin Luther King Jr. said, right?
Yeah.
Content of character. That don't judge a book by its cover. Now, a book,
Mhm.
an actual book, people do as I go into how to write a book and get it published, hints, tips, and
Mhm.
techniques. They will. There is a cover design chapter. Judge your book based on its cover. If you can't interest them in the cover, they won't look at the back or anything in it to learn more about it. But as people, we cannot judge based on looks. They can be deceiving. Uh, uh, but yeah, regarding writing and mental health, like one of my current books is called The Book of Kennedy, Project Carpe Diem. And I already had someone who left a review that said they are so happy that I mentioned suicide prevention in the introduction. She only wishes I would have covered it more in the pages of the book. Well, I
Okay.
did. She kind of missed it. I go into all lives have value and meaning, a very much suicide prevention message. So if you know that going in, you'll see again my attempt to want to be subtle. It's like the Alice Cooper song for knows, right? The anti drug song, his song, Hey Stupid, right? Hey, hey, stupid. If you're doing drugs, they win, you lose. That's not subtle. That's overt. That's beat somebody over the head. I prefer, although in Terror Strikes Coming Soon to a City Near You, it is more overt. And I do talk about PTSD, Project 22, on average, 22 American veterans on average a day take their own lives. So it's more overt there, but in the Book of Kennedy, Project Carpe Diem, it's more subtle. It's more implied between the lines. And that's why I mentioned the suicide prevention thing in the introduction. Hopefully, people then are in the right mindset to understand and see the subtlety implied between the lines in the all lives have value and meaning. You may look at yourself in the mirror every day and not see it. It isn't like It's a Wonderful Life movie, Jimmy Stewart, right? Frank Capra. That's overly dramatic to make a point. You may not save someone from drowning. You may not stop some pharmacist from poisoning a kid. But small things, as I discussed in the Book of Kennedy Project Carpe Diem, make a big difference. There's a scene where Kennedy shares a smile with a divorcee. That light brightens his day. He's having a bad day, in a bad mood. That lifts his spirit. And he then goes on to remarry. He and his new wife are going to have a kid, Charles, who is going to cure cancer one day. Well,
Mm.
you may not know, and you're not going to have an angel named Clarence come to demonstrate to you that little smile in a butterfly effect led to the cure of cancer. Those small steps that lead to big things you may never see does not mean your life isn't important and plays a bigger, broader role that you may never know and understand. We're humans. That's God's territory, not our territory.
Mm. Yeah, I love that. I love that, Joseph. And was it's a bit of a personal question. Was there ever a moment when writing like literally pulled you out of a dark place?
Oh yeah, I mean it. I've been writing since I was young in high school, but I had
Mm.
I was an IT professional as my profession for a long time. But
Okay.
I've always written because I've dealt with anxiety, stress, depression from time to time. So it has always helped me. And why, when I went on disability in 2004, I pivoted up my writing to want to become an international published author to share the stories because I know sharing these things not only is beneficial, not only self-help, not I don't know the word I'm grasping for here, but I think you understand. But it helps others, and helping others, you help yourself, right? You fake a
Mhm.
smile, they smile back. That genuine smile you get back helps both of you. Like in the book of Kennedy, Project Carpe Diem, I have a scene talking about Bullseye the clown, who I interviewed on my Constitutionalist Politics podcast. And, he speaks only English, but he spoke of a time in Russia, can't speak Russian, but stopped on the bus at a traffic light, sees a Russian woman walking by, clearly can see by her body language she's in a down mood. He pulls out the rubber chicken and tugs at the neck and, smiles at her. Not a word spoken, but yet a human connection, sowing good, a betterment for the benefit of both involved without speaking a word.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that kind of connection is something that, that is so deep and it like hits you right. Like kind of it feels like a homecoming.
Absolutely. Again, I go back and I'm going to repeat something. Rick Springfield, he's mostly known for, I wish I had Jesse's girl. To me, that's one of his worst songs. But, like, it's clever, it's catchy, and
Yeah.
most people don't know Neil Giraldo, the husband of Pat Benatar, helped with that song. And now that you know that, if you hear Jesse's Girl and you hear the
Uh-huh.
guitar solo, you'll know, oh, that's Neil Giraldo. Definitely. I recognize that now. But my point being, without that song, he couldn't go on to do other important ones like Karma, with the line, every little bit of love I give to another, you know what I believe? It comes back to me. Indeed, put out good, you'll generally get good back. There's always going to be haters, and
Yeah.
I coined the term decades ago, and it's in the book of Kennedy, Project Carpe Diem, mass holes, right? Masses of asses, miserable people that love wallowing in their misery and they want everyone else to be miserable. You just got to shrug those people off and try to put good out into the world, and you'll get good back. And I also go into the adage, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. If you're a masshole and you surround yourself with a bunch of negative people, how and why would you be surprised? There's a lot of negative things happening in your life. Try to be good, try to be positive, more optimistic than pessimist. I'm not saying don't be real. Bad things happen to good people. This is a fallen world. No such thing as perfect. So, yeah, but try to be more positive. Surround yourself with good people. Good things then come your way.
Absolutely. That is so, so powerful, Joseph. And I 100% believe that.
Yeah. I try to bring not just religion. Again, you don't have to be a person of any faith to accept the concept of karma and
Yeah.
the concepts of human nature, psychology, philosophy. Bring those, again, don't have to be religious to understand and like these books. Erase the Christianity, replace it with whatever you want or no faith at all. Again, karma. If you put out good, you're likely to get good back.
Absolutely, absolutely. And as I was saying, listeners, I think what Joseph has said, it's it it really really helps give that courage, that ignite that passion, especially for um creators or artists, or in every field, whether it's writing or music or comedy, because sometimes looking at what kind of uh, people are out there, or who will say what, who will comment what, who will troll, or negativity. Sometimes these factors, they really really kind of suppress the the human within us, and we kind of try to suppress that voice within us. I think what Joseph says, I think this really really, I mean, I would personally believe that this will really really ignite that passion, that no matter, as you said, the mass souls are out there. I think we should never let that disappear or extinguish.
Yeah. Now, as the Taylor Swift song and the Eric Church, which she stole the line from, and people accuse him of stealing the line from a 90s rap group. Haters gonna hate, right? Players gonna play. Haters gonna hate. Trolls, the massholes. Just don't dwell on it. Don't let them drag you down. That's what they want. They're miserable. They want you to be miserable. Don't let them win. Like, I got a review the other day about the book of Kennedy, Project Carpe Diem, and on the online book club where he found the book, and he, she, it, they, them, whatever. I don't remember the gender, but it's irrelevant. The point being, uh, I clearly define on online book club. The Book of Kennedy, Project Carpe Diem, is a Christian fiction book. And yet, the first thing in the review, it's clear they knew it was Christian, decided, I don't actually know if they read it. They just decided, of course, being a hater, being a troll, wanted to attack me in the book. And the first thing they said, they didn't like all the talk about faith. I said it was a Christian fiction book, and you're surprised? There's talk of faith in it. It's like being in Las Vegas or Morocco in Africa, walking along, going into a casino, And oh my God, shock and horror, there's gambling going on inside, right?
Yeah. Goodness. That's goodness. Um, and before we wrap up, you know, um, let's talk about the legacy. Like you have written 10 books, and you also host multiple podcasts. That is incredible, incredible, Joseph. What drives you? Is this um the fire or the motivation of spreading out good word or positivity, or is it something else? What keeps you, like what drives you to keep creating at that pace?
No, you touched it perfectly, right?
Okay.
Drive. I again, as a Christian, consider it my Christian calling to try. We are all human. We are all frail, flawed, and imperfect. No such thing as perfect on this fallen world. But we can, could, should, in my opinion, try to bring more good into this bad world that we're living in. And you mentioned legacy. I'm glad you did because indeed one of my recent books, kind of a companion book to the Book of Kennedy Project Carpe Diem, which is narrative style. There's not one line of dialogue in it. There's a couple quotations and there's a couple words here and there put in quotation marks for emphasis, but there's no conversational dialogue like a short story, A Lasting Legacy book, which is narrative style and written in journal entries. Like we follow Ryan through his supposed journal entries, right? So it's a different way of telling a similar life and living and doing good, wanting good, sowing good, and what will be your legacy in the end. And the title's a bit of a misnomer. It says a short story, A Laughing Legacy. That about his life being cut short. His life was kind of a short story. It is technically a novelette, though. But yeah, to try to put these positivity things. And don't get me wrong, I whine, I moan, I complain, but my life philosophy is things could always be better, but they couldn't be worse. So when I whine and complain, I remind myself, whole lot more people have it worse than I do.
Yeah, yeah. I think that is a very, very practical take, and I also think it's a very beautiful way to look at it. Um, so Joseph, if listeners,
And
they,
it's healthy.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
yeah, it's mental health, right?
yeah,
Being right in your own head, as the title says, healthy mind, healthy life. Right now, that doesn't mean your body may break down as mine did. I'm on disability, but you have a better chance of having a good physical health if you maintain a reasonable, intelligent, thoughtful approach to your mental health and understanding things are not always going to go your way, and accepting at times that will happen and not dwell on them, not be broken by them.
I agree. I agree. So, Joseph, if listeners they would like to connect with you and get access to all the books you have written, your legacy, and your podcasts as well, what would be the best way?
Yeah, again, it's Joseph M. Leonard. It looks French. It's not Lenard, it's Leonard without an O. I have an Everybody Wiki page under Joseph M. Leonard. You can go to josephmleonard.us, or my Terror Strikes book has a site, terrorstrikes.info, or tinyurl.com/JLD, short for J. Leonard Detroit. Tinyurl.com/JLD on Amazon will take you to my Amazon page.
Brilliant. So, listeners, after listening to this conversation, just refer to the show notes. You'll find all the details in there. Check out Joseph's books, his podcasts, go to his website, and also subscribe to Healthy Mind, Healthy Life. Leave us a review. Let us know what exactly you loved, or let us know your thoughts about it, because your reviews, your support helps us keep the wheels running here at Healthy Mind, Healthy Life. And I think today Joseph reminds us that resilience isn't built in comfort. It is built, it's forged in the crucible of conviction. So whether he's writing about politics or purpose or it is about pain, there is a thread of honesty that runs through it all. A thread of desire to understand, to connect, and also to keep moving forward. So, if today's conversation resonated with you, explore more of his work. And also, thank you so much, Joseph, for this really, really thoughtful, heartfelt conversation.
Oh, thank you for having me on. And as I joked at the top, indeed, it was a great honor for you to have me here. That's a joke, people. It's a joke. I do not suffer the sin of hubris. That's good natured fun. We got to keep a sense of humor, right?
Exactly. Exactly. I think that's what keeps us alive.
Yeah. Oh, it's a mental health thing. Robin Williams, RIP, committed suicide. Uh, it's why a lot of comedians are comedians. I myself, I freely admit, I use humor to mask anxiety, stress, depression myself. As Robin Williams said, comedians are comedians because helping others laugh helps their own well being, helps lift up their own spirits. The problem is, you're not on stage 24/7. At night, when there's nobody around, those demons can still creep in. Don't let them demons telling you negative stuff, telling you your life is worthless. It's not true. It has value, whether you see it or not. Do not let those demons win.
That's really, really hopeful. And I absolutely, I give my shout out to that. So thank you so much once again, Joseph, and listeners. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Healthy Mind, Healthy Life. Until then, I urge all of you to stay grounded, stay kind, and keep creating your version of peace. This is your host, Sana, signing off. Take care.